Right. Creepers, Confusion, and Act by Thomas Ludwig of the Red Blade. Seeing what lies beyond his computer screen, Jason is flung into a world of the unknown. First story, so just tell me how much it sucks and why. Alrighty. Hell yeah. Author's notations. Alright. Some shit. Other shit. Thomas Ludwig. Oh, I lay in bed, hit with a sudden case of insomnia. I sit up and look over at my computer. Probably should do something other than lie here, I thought, pressing the button to turn on my computer after getting some clothes on. Wow, it's pretty chilly tonight, I said, pulling on my jacket that I wore pretty much everywhere. After I put my socks and shoes on, I walked back over to my computer and saw what looked like a galaxy of stars on the screen. What in the world? I don't remember doing this. Almost pushing the button to restart it. But for some reason it was like an invisible wall in front of the button. Okay, what the heck is going on here? I thought to myself. And just then the screen started to flash like a strobe light. Ah, come on, man, I said, just as what felt like a wall vanished. My hand jerked over and pressed the button on accident, followed by the normal response of the computer going on standby. Okay, what's with this thing? I shook the computer a little. Well, it seems to be working again, I hope. As I pressed a few random keys on the computer, the screen started to restart. But instead of the login screen, I got what looked like a maniacal smile with the text underneath. Welcome to your new home. That's when I blacked out. What is this thing anyway, Nurse Redheart? A young voice sounded out. I don't really know myself. You said you found it by the Everfree Forest, right? It sounded like a young lady. Maybe in her late 20s. Yeah. It was just lying there. I couldn't leave it. I poked it for a while, but it didn't do anything, the younger one said. Well, I've never seen anything like this before. I can't even tell if there's something wrong, the older nurse said. I sat up, rubbing my head, feeling a bit of cloth over my eyes. What happened? Where am I? I questioned the voices. You're in the Ponyville Hospital, this little filly named Eos. Eos! Party in the Eos, said the older voice. And I'm Nurse Redheart. Well, if you don't mind me asking, why my eyes covered, and why am I in the hospital for blacking out? Wait, do you call her a filly? Fillies are baby horses. Parenthetical. Fillies are younger female horses. Colts are younger male horses. And foals are younger horses. And a parenthetical. Well, Nurse Redheart said, We are ponies here, and ales here is an alicorn. At this I busted up laughing. Wow, ma'am, I just woke up in a hospital, very disoriented, and you're feeding me this? No offense, ma'am, but that sounds like bull. Right after I said this, I started to undo the cloth around my face. No, wait! We need to get you up to date before you take that off, the nurse said, rushing forward, trying to grab my hands. I brushed her aside, even though I'm blindfolded. No worries, ma'am. I'm fine. And I thought to myself, wow, those hands felt like hooves. Weird, but I put it to the back of my mind. When I finally got them off and opened my eyes, at first my vision was really blurry. Then I noticed that she wasn't joking. She was a pony. Holy shit. No way. She called it an alicorn, I think. Alright now, don't freak out, bitch, I heard the nurse say. Ales blurted out, what's gonna happen, motherfucker? At first my mind really didn't register that they were ponies talking right in front of me. The room got very quiet. I broke the silence by saying, my apologies, Nurse Redheart. You were telling the truth. I am Duke Nukem, and I am fazed by no man. Well, Thomas Lutwig of the Red Blade, I don't know what to tell you. This is your first story. It was boring, but it wasn't stupid. It wasn't stupid. I will break down case by case what I think you should do with this story. Sentence 1. I lay in bed. Good. Great. Right there. That is awesome. Stick with that. I lay in bed. Period. I sit up and look over. My computer sits there, waiting. You think, you in your head, you make up something to quote forward that you think, probably should do something other than lie here. Totally fine. Great quote. Good. I thought pressing the button. Okay. Onward. After getting some clothes on, I thought to press the button. Quotes are fine. My favorite jacket lay on the floor. I put it on. My favorite jacket sat still in my closet. I put it on. You don't have to say everything where everything is all the time, but like, where are we? What are we, in an apartment? Like, what's happening, man? Like, what's going on? What the fuck? Just shit like that, give us, for each one of these sentences you have here, like this. What screen? The computer screen? Okay, I mean, I can understand that, but as the screen thought, okay, you don't say, like, I thought to myself, comma, some shit happened, this, like, it's, I thought to myself, quote, like, those kind of go together. So you'd say something like, just then the screen started to flash like a strobe light. Oh, come on, man. Like, you don't need, I thought to myself, really? I mean, if you want to make it specifically that he thought it in his head, then that's fine. But, I mean, make it less clunky. I shook the computer a little. Well, it seems to be working again, I hope. Fine. Periods are cool, but, that's not that big of a deal. Here's the main problem I had was, like, these kind of clunky, like, huge word, it's like, fuck. I pressed a few random keys on the computer screen to try to get it to restart. Instead of the logic screen, I got what looked like a maniacal smile. There was large, angry text, or there was dynamic, or intimidating text, or maybe you don't need that. Maybe you just went with the text underneath, but the text underneath is one sentence, so not like that. That's fine. It would be cool if the only characters that you made up in your story weren't you, like a fan character and then an alicorn filly. Like, come on, like, you gotta think to yourself. Everyone as an individual is smart. We all can think of really amazing things as human beings. So, you don't have to write like an epic as your first story, but I mean, like, why is it an alicorn? Like, are we gonna find out later that there's just alicorns Ponyville? This is an alternate Ponyville dimension. What? Um, I can't tell if something wrong. Why is this a nurse? Like, whatever. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Never mind. Spelling error. Generally, when someone is making a noise of agony, of pain, or of sorrow, you don't say ugh or like blah 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 blah. Like, if it's a sound, you don't spell it out there. Like, I guess it's stylistic, but generally it works better if you'd say something like, I sat up rubbing my head. All I could do was mumble incoherent or groan. All I could do was groan. I got up and all I could do was groan. Something like that. Period. You have a lot of punctuation marks in this one sentence, and like, over my head, period, space. I felt a bit of cloth over my eyes. Period. Then you enter and you go down to the next line down here. And then you put, what happened? Where am I? Like, I don't know. I mean, you don't have to do that because you're talking, but I mean, like, if you're groaning and you're talking, like, why? Like, you need to separate, like, the ugh sound and then the you talking, right? I mean, that's kind of two different things. You don't know you're in the hospital, I don't think. No one told you that. Like, oh, never mind, I'm wrong. Ponies, it's fine. Like, I think the reason I was confused, I guess, is because it says older nurse, like, he doesn't believe her, but he does believe her that she's in a hospital. Like, who'd be talking to him in the hospital other than a nurse? Like, I don't know, that's just kind of funny. Um, you know, you don't ever need to say it right after, like, when you're talking about this. Just be like, I started to undo the cloth around my face. Boom. Like, the less words in a sentence, the better. No, wait, we need to get you up to date. Fine, that's fine. I don't know how. Like, okay, you're blindfolded, right? My point was when I was reading it is that, like, you fucking. You brush her aside, you're blindfolded. Like, how are you doing that? Like, in order to brush her aside, you'd need to see her hand coming. If she was grabbing you, you'd need to, like, hit her off of you or, like, make a more physical motion than just brushing her aside. You know what I mean? Like, it, she's involving more contact than you're giving back, so she'd be winning, right? Um, you know, just be a little bit more conscious about your punctuation, but whatever. I don't know. There's like, okay, who's the alicorn here? Like, she was a pony, and what? What the fuck is this? Like, no one said that. Maybe, okay, someone said that, but like, who's it? Like, you as the character is looking at Nurse Redheart, and you don't look at someone and be like, this person, she called it the person I'm referring to in, like the third, like, it's really weird. So be more clear about what you're talking about. I think this is fine. Whatever. I mean, it's just something that old people say, so it's just kind of old or whatever. Um, um, like, what? Like, I don't get this. Like, you didn't realize the ponies were there, even though you already recognized that they were there and that they are ponies. And then finally, what the hell is this? Like, are you just like that big of a badass? Like, if that's true, that's fine. Go with it. But I mean, that's kind of random for just someone that, like, you just have insomnia and you're laying at your computer. Like, what the fuck are you doing with your life that, like, you're just at your computer, but you're also just not fucking phased by the fact that you're in another fucking universe? So, there's that. But, the story itself is. I mean, it's not the first time it's ever happened, but it's fine. And that is it. So, good job on writing your first story. From what all I said, you still wrote something, and that is something to be proud of. So, good job. Fuck.